If you are in the esoteric spiritual community, the occult community, the metaphysical community, the magic community, and you're just doing it for money spells or love spells, right? Which are the two of the dominant things that people are using esoteric mysticism for, right? Money and love, career and relationships, right? If that's the only reason that you are in this type of community or studying this type of knowledge, then please, I beg you, implore you, go back to church. Why do I say go back to church? And I'm going to say this in front of a church. Because, see a church right here? Because if you go back to these hollowed halls, right, where the cross is, which represents the crossroads, right? If you go back into these hollowed halls, you could pray to Jesus day and night, become a prayer warrior. And due to the placebo effect basically is your mind. Let's say, for instance, they say 70% of medication, I'm explaining the placebo effect, 70% of medication that you take is placebo, is sugar pills, right? But because it's prescribed by a doctor, you think that the pill is actually doing what it says, whether it's to relieve pain, whether it's to heal you, or whatever, right? But it's really your brain or your mindset that has tricked you into healing yourself. So it's not really the pill, because the pill is just sugar. It's you. So when you come and you're a prayer warrior, right, you are activating the placebo effect inside of you. You're also activating the reticular activation system in your brain, which means as long as you keep seeing the same thing over and over and over, eventually it'll manifest in your reality. Like, you ever been looking for a car, or looking at a particular shoe, or, looking at something that you wanted, and all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere, right? That is the reticular activating system coming online for you, making you aware of what you want and putting it in your focus, right? And also, again, the placebo effect, to where your mind creates the reality that it wants based on your belief of what the reality is. You can go to church and be a prayer warrior and pray to Jesus, and Jesus will make sure you have money, right? Jesus will make sure that you have a lover, a relationship, right? This is possible. This is on the low spectrum of spirituality, just gaining money and love, right? Part of this esoteric work is A, doing shadow work, B, having an alter reality or spiritual reality, C, knowing that there is an invisible world and a visible world, and being able to navigate effectively between both the quantum universe and the tangible physical universe, right? AKA the astral world being the quantum world, and the physical world being the earth realm, or Maya, or Gaia, right? And when you also are in this esoteric spirituality, right, or the occult, it's about you communicating with your ancestors, or having rituals or rites where you honor your ancestors. It's about you understanding signs and symbols. It's about you developing coping mechanisms for your stress and hardships in life, and being able to be at peace and joy throughout those stresses and hardships in life, so that you could keep your vibration high, which is the ultimate goal. It's spirituality. It's about your spirit, your inner self, your invisible self, right, vibrating high enough so that it could transmute anything that's happening in the physical world, and you're able to create your reality via the placebo effect, via the reticular activating system, via your consciousness, which is your mindset, right? There is no such thing as the self, really. What you're looking at is in electromagnetic frequency, right? That's what I am. That's what you are. You are what did Morpheus tell Neo when he was training, right? So you think that's air you're breathing, right? Or is it just electrical signals that are interpreted by your brain? And if it's simply electrical signals that are interpreted by your brain, right? This whole world, this reality, right? this illusionary reality, this fractal universe that we see in 3D, because it's simply atoms that are vibrating at a so slow pace, right? When you vibrate higher, you're basically spinning those atoms at a high velocity. And that high velocity allows you to interact with your imagination, your goals, your dreams, your visions. And that allows you now to have that interaction with the physical world, right? And AKA manifestation, because of that quantum entanglement between your dreams, your visions, and the physical world, by you changing the atomic spin of your ideas, aka vibrating high or high vibration. So spirituality is about ultimately elevating the spirit. Spirituality, again, also is about understanding signs, understanding symbols. When I look at this cross, right, I don't feel hurt. I don't feel like, oh, they lying to the people anymore. Like, even though I know they are, right? But how can I alchemize this symbol to work for me? So when I see the cross, it's a legba, it's the crossroads. It's a reminder to bear my cross. It's a reminder that there are going to be ups and downs on this path. It's a reminder that ultimately me going through the crossroads and me staying in a highly elevated spiritual state and me using the spiritual tools, crystals, divination, aka readings, spirit baths, aromatherapy, herbology, astral travel, etc., right? This is what occultism, this is what the esoteric, this is what magic is about. This is why the pyramids were designed, right? Not just to be dope and impress people across the pond, right? Or people across the Euphrates or whatever, right? Or people across the Dead Sea. Like, spirituality is about you raising your spirit so that you could see things that others can't see. You could perceive things that others can't perceive. You could come into a true knowledge of yourself and bond with your quote-unquote junk DNA through the activation of your ancestral wisdom through various means that I discussed. Aromatherapy, again, rituals, veves, ancestral worship, honoring your ancestors, altars, etc., all the different tools. But if you just want to come into this occult or mysticism just for money and love, go back to church. Like Jesus, again, is an avatar, right? There's a black version of Jesus called El Cristo Negro. El Cristo Negro is a real thing, right? You can have your black version of Jesus if that's all you want in money and love, and just pray to him. Simply just do that over and over and over again. And the repetition will have you manifest that. But if you really want to get into these mystical arts to make yourself the magic, to allow you to see things that others can't see, for you to be prepared and forewarned and get downloads before events like wars and 9/11s, and I keep thinking about the COVID thing. I forgot the pandemic, right? If you want to be spiritually prepared and you want to be able to look at, again, symbols like this and not feel away and know how to alchemize them to your benefit, then come on down to death row. Come on over to death row. Come down with us. But if you're just doing this for money and love, go to church. Go to church. Like, you'll be better off doing that. Honestly, you'll be better off. You will get more done. And, you probably going to have to hit pastor off, because, pastor is the one giving you the information. You're not really reading your own Bible, because if you read the Bible, you're going to see that there's tons of contradictions in the Bible. So you can't really be honestly reading the Bible sincerely and studying it and coming to the conclusions that a lot of you that are Christian may come up with, right? It's impossible. So the church has to be viewed as a tool, right? Not just as a place that you go to find or discover or bond with God. It's just one of the places. You could bond with God in a club. You could bond with God in a strip club. Like, you are God wherever you walk, because God lives within you. Psalms 82:6, do you not know that ye are gods? Right? So the Spirit of God is within you. So when you tap in to this type of knowledge, right? And you watch these videos and you're talking about the Andromedan Confederation and, the aliens on Mars and, what about the aliens under the earth, right? What about hollow earth, right? Why is there no talk about the people coming from within the earth that could be here doing all the quote-unquote outside alien things, right? Just something for you to think about, right? Whatever we've been taught in this reality, we've been taught wrong, right? We have to reorganize and remember our memory, right? We have to rediscover, and all that comes from going within. So if you're not gonna, even one of the tools that I always talk about, meditation, right? If you're not gonna do something as simple as meditate on a regular basis, then just go to church. You could you don't gotta watch these channels. You could go to church. You could get your lecture from T.D. Jakes every week. You get your lecture from Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen every week, right? And it'll put you in a good mood for that hour or two, right? And you can pray, and you become a prayer warrior, and you can manifest that money, and you can manifest that love. But if you're really trying to manifest the highest version of you, not through the Orishas, right? Not through the Netzeru, not leaving your church to worshiping Jesus to now come and worship the Orishas, or now come to worship the Loa or worship the Netzeru, worship the gods. That's not, and just so you can get money and love. That's not what this is about, right? Stop doing these tarot card readings with 30, 40 tarot cards. You know what I'm saying? I see the chick doing a tarot card reading. She was dropping card after card after card after card after card. Don't do tarot card readings if you're reading the book, right? Study your tarot cards, study your oracle cards, right? You shouldn't be reading from a book. You should have knowledge that you have studied, that you know, that you have learned before you come out and do this type of work, right? And especially charging people for it. How you gonna charge people and you don't know what the fuck you doing yourself? You reading from somebody else's words. You can't even interpret your own deck. A lot of this spiritual shit that's out here now is strictly entertainment. It's escapism. It's not about personal development. It's not about tapping into yourself. It's not about healing yourself. It's all about shit outside of you. What can this do for you? What can that do for you? What can this God do for you? What can this deity do for you? When's the last time you did a spell, right? You got all the colors of your chakras and wrote on the candle what each chakra does, right? And what part of you, of that chakra, you want to heal. You could write petitions. You could write on the candle, right? I'm giving you some things that I've done, right? So that you could get wisdom. So even when you manifest the money, when you manifest the love, you could keep it. And you could keep it around. And it'll really be something beneficial to you. And you'll know where to set up the boundaries in that relationship. So this person that seems so wonderful and beautiful doesn't destroy you. Or you get all this money and you don't start drinking it away, spending it away, or drugging it away, right? Or just purely wasting it, giving it away, right? So that it comes as quick as it goes. This is what spirituality is about. To give you wisdom ultimately, right? Ultimately, the study is about giving you wisdom so you know how to keep your vibration, how to tap into the spirits and the different aspects of yourself. That again, this is just a shell, right? The real spirit is within you. The real spirit is invisible. The real spiritual world is not the world of the seen. Even if you have the ability to see spirits and you can see your spirit once in a while, who gives a fuck if it doesn't benefit you? Right? Who gives a fuck? If I see spirits, nigga, I want to communicate. I need them lotto numbers. You know what I'm saying? I need the bank codes. I need healing. You know what I'm saying? I need my children protected. Send those spirits, protect my daughter in school, protect my daughters in college, right? Protect my kids, protect my family. That's what I need to see spirits for, not just to see spirits. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? We really need to get practical with what we're doing this for and why we are studying metaphysics, the esoteric. And if you're not going to put in work, you're not going to put in the study, right? You're not going to put in the research. You're just going to go out here like you were at church and blindly believe the YouTuber, the same way you blindly believe the Reverend, because they're charismatic, they're great orators, right? And you want to donate because you want to save the people, right? And you want to wake everybody up, but you ain't even woke up, right? You got all this useless knowledge that's just water cooler talk, and it's just entertainment. And there's a lot of, like, I look at some of these YouTube videos and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. People are really spending an hour and a half of their life watching this shit about niggas on the moon. Like, who the fuck cares if niggas is on the moon or not on the moon? Nigga, raise your kids better. Like, there's so many things that you could be doing and learning that are really you got anxiety and depression, and you ain't drink no herbal teas. You still on antidepressants. You ain't doing no workouts. You ain't doing no meditations. You ain't got no candles lit on your altar unless it's for something. Get out, look, get out now. Halloween's coming tomorrow, right? The veil is dim, real veil is thin, right? A lot of y'all after this eclipse have been in a frequency of change, right? And a lot of y'all are in the frequency of wanting to be with someone, right? Because the full moon was in Taurus. But Taurus is, and today is still, as I'm recording this, today is still in effect, right? Monday is still the effect of the full moon. It lasts 3 days. But because it was eclipse, right? It's going to last a little longer, so it'll go into tomorrow, which is Halloween. But you should be feeling the urge to do something new. You should be feeling the urge to change. When's the last time you took a spiritual bath with some herbs? Not for the purpose of nothing, but for you to be, well, there's always a purpose behind it, so let me not say that. But what I'm saying is it's for the purpose of personal development, personal spiritual development, not for money and love. Like, when's the last time? We all need money, right? But who cares if you manifest all the money in the world and you don't know how to keep it? Who cares if you manifest the house and the car, but you don't know how to keep it? You don't have the wisdom to keep it. You don't have the wisdom to improve upon that, right? We got to get our priorities in order. And right now, it's really just like entertainment. The whole mysticism, magic, and the esoterics. It's really just entertaining at this point. It's really just fun and games, right? And this is not what our ancestors wanted us to know, right? This is not why the pyramids were built. This is not why the Tekkens were built or the obelisks. This is not why, why the Sumerians existed and, all these great spiritual systems that from antiquity that we study. It's always about man knowing thyself, right? Not knowing who's on Mars and who's on Neptune and where the aliens are, right? This is about spiritual warfare, which is the first form of warfare, because everything starts in the mind. But the mind is essentially the spiritual world. We just call it the mind, but the mind is the world of spirit. And the mind is world of thought and vision. And until you master your mindset, you cannot master this world. Until you realize that you are not a physical being. You are a spirit that houses, you are a soul that houses the spirit in a human body. That's what you are. You're a soul, not even a human. You're a soul that houses the spirit in a human avatar. Until you realize that you are beyond this 3D matrix, right? And all the money in the world won't save you. And getting the love of your life won't save you. Those two things, when you get them, won't make you happy. Until you realize that you're really on a baby level of esoteric knowledge, and that's okay. We all got to start somewhere, but it takes someone like me or people like me to really shake you up and wake you up, because this money and love shit and this alien flat earth motherfucking the moon and you know what I'm saying, the archons and all this old stupid shit, It ain't helping none of us out here. It ain't helping none of y'all. Look at your life. Look at your life. Since you've been studying this and learning all these conspiracies and what the government's going to do, look at your life. Don't take my word for it. I can see my growth, right? And I know when I was there studying all the conspiracies. I know when I was there studying all the pro-black shit and wanting to save the world, right? And thinking I'm super righteous. Not realizing I'm wearing fucking shoes from Nike that are made from slave labor, right? In Taiwan and China, by child labor in Taiwan and China, right? Sweatshop labor. But here I am thinking I'm righteous. My cotton shirt that I bought, right, is made in China and Taiwan by slave labor in sweatshops. But here I am thinking I'm super righteous, right? My computer, your computer, my phone, Cobalt, Colton, picked in minds by children that look just like me. But here I am thinking I'm super righteous and I could save the world because I was born in a melanated vehicle. That at the time I wasn't meditating, but I read all the books, right? I wasn't doing the mantras, but I read all the books. I wasn't wearing the crystals, but I read all the books. Really, really think. If you're still scared of demons, go back to church. If somebody like me talks about demons and demonology and it still scares you, go back to church. If you're still thinking about dark magic and you're scared of it, go back to church. It's okay. This ain't for you. Go get your money and go get your love through Jesus. I've been there. I've manifested money and love through when I was a Christian. Right? But I didn't manifest my spiritual power. So therefore, both left me just as quick as they came. Because I wasn't doing the spiritual work, the research, the study. I was just repeating shit that I read and repeating shit that I heard. But I wasn't walking my talk. I was just talking my talk. And a lot of you were just talking your talk and want to sound better than your friends and want to impress people and want to show people that you're the smartest person. I ain't here to save nobody. I remember I was with somebody, right? And the other person was like disputing magic and saying it was this and that, right? And the person I was with was looking at me because they thought that I was going to tell the person that was refuting magic and certain aspects of spirituality something. And I stayed quiet. The fuck? That's what they believe. This ain't for everybody. Everybody's not going to... You think all black people one day is going to wake up and unite? Hell no. That didn't even happen during slavery. There were black people that had slaves, that had plantations. Look it up. Black people that enslaved other black people. They showed you that in Django. That ain't bullshit. That's real shit. So you want me, right? You want me to be pro of people that don't even have a knowledge of themselves instead of me being pro-truth, right? Me who has done readings for people, right? Me who has certain abilities where I'm able to see people's history and see that they weren't always in this black melanated avatar, but you want me to go to war for people who would take a selfie next to my dead body, right? And put it on Instagram for clout. Because all skin folks and kin folks, I don't care if you FBA, CBA, ABA, FBI, all skin folk and kin folks. There are certain things called race, which is a false construct, and class, which is another false construct. Hierarchies, right? False hierarchies. And until you are able to come into a knowledge of yourself, a true knowledge of yourself, and all the junk DNA which holds all your ancestral knowledge, and realize that yourself is all things, that yourself, your true self, is everything and nothing at the same time. And you start working from that premise, that tabula rasa, that blank slate, then you need to go back to church. And that's okay. But if you are seeking knowledge, you are seeking wisdom, you are seeking a true understanding of yourself, you could hit me up for readings. You could hit me up for your astrological chart. right? You could reach out and, you know, we could do a consultation and see what's really going on with you and what direction you need to go to. Because this shit is out of control. Like, this shit is out of control. I was talking to some brothers about this shit, and I'm like showing them some of these video covers, and I was like, or these thumbnails, and I was like, man, this shit is crazy now. It's crazy. People are just saying anything and everything, and people aren't researching. People aren't checking it out for themselves. People are definitely not taking action on it, and they're just like buying into it. Like, I don't give a fuck about what's happening in Andromeda. How does that fucking affect me and my kids? Man, I'm out. Peace, power, and prosperity, Rob Blackstone. Yeah. You wanna go to war? Let's do it. I'm Black Hannibal, running through your capital on elephants. Civilize a savage with my elegance.